Hey, we'll be talking about Brody gameplay of Sanz from Onic Esports. It's easy to understand Brody's mechanics, so it all comes down to how you optimize his build. Later, we'll explain what builds you can do when you're on the lead, when your gold is almost close to the enemy team, and when you're on the losing side. But before we go further, let's quickly go over the important information to better understand Brody. To start, let's go to Brody's passive. The cast animation of Brody's basic attack takes too long, but in exchange, take note of 3 things. First, the damage scaling of his basic attack is extremely high compared to other marksman heroes who only base on their physical attack. Brody's basic attack is equal to 104% of physical attack plus his current level. This is why 2 or 3 damage items are more than enough for Brody. You might be interested when Brody is critical because of his high damage. Sad to say, damage scaling with hero level doesn't apply when critical. So what does that mean? First, to better understand, let's give it a try. We'll be using Scarlet Phantom to increase the critical chance. Critical damage is now 200%. Let's do 4 basic attacks to complete stack 4 consistent damage. The damage of his basic attack is now 1356. Let's double it since it's 200% critical damage and the bot has 0 physical defense. With that said, critical damage of his basic attack should be 2712, but it went down to 1957 with 800 missing since damage scaling with level doesn't apply when critical. So it's really better if you just opt to use damage items like Blade of Despair. At least with it, you have a consistent damage of 1618. And it only has a 300 difference when critical. Using this item will also increase the damage of your skill 1 and ultimate. Second, you are free to move once you lock your target with Brody's basic attack. On top of it, each basic attack gives additional movement speed. This is the most important thing about Brody that Sanz takes advantage of. Look at Sanz's positioning in this clash. He maximizes his range once target locked using basic attack. Then he backs up so enemies would have hard time to come closer even if they use flicker or dash. Sanz would only move a bit closer to lock a target with basic attack. Just think of it as if he was playing using YSS, but it's really Brody, moving out of his range and only coming back to lock a target before moving away again. Sanz found this easy to carry out probably because of his item build for movement speed. Lastly, third, each basic attack gives an abyss mark on your target. Damage on your target increases by 5% and an increase as well on movement speed for every abyss mark. That's a maximum of 4 abyss marks per target. 20% additional damage and movement speed. For Brody's skill 1, it's straight AoE damage. As this travels, the more targets that get hit, its damage increases. It also gives additional stacks of abyss marks. You can use this to harass your enemy during the laning phase. Once you use this, be sure to hit the minions first for you to easily poke or harass your enemy on the same lane. For his skill 2, it's a dash that stuns your target. Then you can dash out to your desired direction. Not just on heroes, but you can also use this on minions to close the gap from a hero that you're after. Just like what Sanz did. Or you could also use this on jungle creeps. For Brody's ultimate, use this for a last hit. Its damage will depend on the numbers of your abyss mark on your target and their missing HP. You can take advantage of its short cooldown during the laning phase to harass your target or to clear waves. Make sure to set your skill 1 to travel on minions, and once your target has 4 abyss marks, go for ultimate. Now for the build. After shoes, what Sanz go for next is Hunter Strike for physical penetration and of course for its additional movement speed, so it's gonna be easy for you to get in position during a clash. Then he goes for Brute Force Breastplate. With the meta before, Brute Force is used especially for fighter heroes. Pro players now prefer to use Anti-Cuirass or Dominance Ice after the adjustments made on them. But Brute Force Breastplate still goes well with Brody's mechanics because of its additional movement speed. Next, Sanz goes for Malefic Roar to prepare for late game if ever the enemy builds a physical defense item. After that, Sanz goes for defensive items depending on what he needs. Here, Paquito and Khalid kept coming for Brody, so Sanz went for Wind of Nature. Look, Nathan has high damage during mid-game and at this point in time, also Lilia. So Sanz went for Athena's shield. But during late game, his teammates were successful in zoning out Lilia and Nathan, so he changed to Immortality. Here's the build path if you're almost even with the enemy team. But if you're leading, just add physical items like Blade of Despair or Endless Battle. If you're on the losing side or you got harassed during lane phase, you can go for the build path that Skylar from RRQ did. His hero may have not died consecutively, but Oheb had made him recall a number of times. They had a huge gap in this match. Skylar only had 3,900 gold while Oheb had 5,600. Skylar thought of prioritizing Brute Force Breastplate. That was for movement speed mechanics, but he was still tough and could survive. Then he went for Malefic Roar. You might be asking why it was too early for him to use Malefic Roar. Well, first, Blacklist was leading. 3 of them were already with Dominance Ice. Second, probably Skylar was still weighing if he should go for a full tank build. As you can see, he followed it up with Anti-Cuirass. He was already preparing his damage if ever his enemy continued to toughen up. He also went for Anti-Cuirass to counter Bane and Clint. After doing that, RRQ was almost catching up with Blacklist. Somehow, he managed to get in the right position, so he thought of adding damage with Hunter Strike. And of course, since death timer on late game really takes time, he went for Immortality. Brody's unique mechanics give you a lot of options for builds, so before you follow recommended builds, evaluate what you really need, especially in the situation you are in. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Since this is the 16th video of the month, we'll now pick the 15th lucky winner of our Christmas raffle. If you're new here, since Christmas is fast approaching, each time a video is uploaded, we'll be giving away epic skin, starlight, or emote. Simply hit that subscribe button, like this video, and of course, leave a comment. Much better if it's a gameplay tip or anything related to the video for others who also want to learn new things. All comments will be part of the raffle for the next video. So here's the raffle for this video. You will be getting You have 3 days to send a message to our Facebook page. Good luck on the next one! M3 Party Week event has started. You will get a free skin and a chance to win Roger's Prime skin. Once you logged in on your Mobile Legends account, just click on the M3 logo found on your home screen. Choose Party Week and complete in-game tasks to level up your chest. The skin that you'll win depends on the level of your chest by January 1. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.